Hi, so today I just wanted to make a quick video demonstrating how to use the pattern sequencer to develop samples or put them into and then create new variations on said samples and chop them up and whatnot. So what I'm going to do for this demonstration is use Logic's chord strip track to create a basic pattern with some chords. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into instrument and literally select the electric piano, and I'm just going to go up and I'm going to create go into the chord strip on Logic, which is just over to the left when you've opened up your piano. Now within the chord strip it gives you the option to play chords with one touch of the pad or your key, whatever. So this is great, but obviously with stuff like this I feel that it kind of forces you to play things in a certain kind of way. So you might be going there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, it's not that exciting, or it's, you know, anyone could really do that. So what I want to do is just take this idea and pull it one step further really. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to press record and I'm going to literally just play these chords in the order they are. Okay, let's stop that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Let's just bring this up, loop it round, make sure that everything is okay within the editor. It looks okay. I'm just going to quantize this quickly. I'll do that. And yeah, that looks fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this basic chord track. Let me just check these last few notes. Yeah, that's fine. Right, and I'm just going to literally hold down on them and go to bounce and join. What this is going to do is it's just going to convert it to an audio track. So bounce in place. I'm just going to bounce it, but you can obviously give it a name, you can save it however you want to do it. So that's now created an audio track for what I've just played in. So that's muted, and what I want to do now with this audio track is I want to hold it, drag it to your left and pop it into the quick sampler. Now that's analysed that. I want to come out of that. I'm going to mute the audio track. And now within the quick sampler, I'm going to select it. I'm going to just make the voices down to 1. And I'm going to just make this a bit bigger. Now we've got classic one shot and slice, so I want it in slice mode. I'm going to go to equal divisions and just make the slices to 8. You can see now that because obviously everything was played in just like pretty basically, that it's chopped it up perfectly. So now I've got all these sounds, all the chord tracks, sorry, that I can obviously now use within the pattern sequencer. So now we're taking a bog standard pattern that we've just recorded in, and I'm just going to literally go into the create pattern region. I'm going to bring this back. Don't need to make it 8 bars, so I'm just going to go into that. And now within here, you've got all your chords, which is cool. And now this is where it can get really interesting, because you can start So straight away you've got like this variation going on a pattern that you maybe wouldn't have thought of doing by just playing in the chords traditionally. And this is literally one of the best ways. It kind of works. The best way I could describe it is kind of like the Elektron sequencers, where you can input your notes and then you can obviously, you know, really mangle up the sounds, or there's variations you can do. So if I went to here and I just went to the information, and now I can change the color and the icon so it can be on its own individual track. I can change the step rate. So at the moment we're in 16, so I'm going to go to eighth notes, and now this one will play at 8. As you can see here, that's going slower and the rest are running at 16, and I can do that for all of them. I can obviously, let's pull this back so we are not in sorry, what's going on here? You sometimes get these little technical glitches. Let's bring that back. There we go. Right, so as I say, so you can straight away I've got such a more interesting variation on just that. Now with this I can go back into the sampler and I can, you know, move stuff in real time, and I could record that in. So you're not necessarily stuck to the chops you put in from the get-go. You can mess around with it as you're doing it. You can go to classic and just start. You know, it might not work, as we can see there. But let's just stick to what we had originally. And I could record all this in. I can go into the pattern sequencer, and you know, I can change the length, I can do all that stuff that you'd normally do within the pattern sequencer, but I'm using those sounds that I've chopped up and now I've just put them into the pattern sequencer, and it just makes everything much more, you know, feel like your own work, feel like you're creating something different, and then I can obviously save that audio and bring this back in whenever I want to. I could, you know, maybe take this to 32, and then the next set I could vary up even more. And I could take this one and I could go into the settings here and change the velocity, the gate, the tie. I can, you know, add a sub row, and I could, one of the most interesting things really to do within here is to go to the loop mode. There we go. And I can bring certain lines back so they play at different, you know, lengths. So you can create some really interesting like rhythms and polyrhythms, whatnot, just within this, and just really looking at taking melodic things and chord tracks and thinking of them more like rhythms, maybe, where you're obviously just creating stuff on the fly and you're like, oh wow, this is working, and now you might have a new idea for a song and you could add a beat to this and you can carry on working, or you might be like, oh, I'm not quite sure about that, so I can mix it up, or you could take some other samples and as long as you're chopping them up and then placing them into the pattern sequencer, really the creative possibilities are endless. And this is really a great way to look at using your samples, because, as I say, within this pattern sequencer there's so much you can do. And just from taking this basic chord pattern I made, well, literally just played in the chords, I've now created something that, you know, real quick, and it just sounds, well, to me anyway, it sounds a lot more interesting. It might not sound any good, but you get the idea. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have, then please give a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone who's already done that. Yeah, it means a lot to me. And yeah, so thank you very much. Goodbye.